Hello and welcome back to Tricolor Gaming with me, Fletcher. And I thought I would just make a quick video giving my thoughts about the new Dinosaur documentary series on Channel 5 of British TV with Stephen Fry alongside, called Dinosaur. Before we get into that, don't forget to give us a like, comment down below with your thoughts about this new documentary series if you've seen it, and while you're there, give us a subscribe as well if you haven't already done so to get us closer to that 1000 sub target. Now, I've not scripted this because I just wanted to come off the cuff, but the too long didn't read version of my thoughts about this documentary is that it's one of the worst pieces of dinosaur documentary making I have ever seen. I would honestly advise people that if you're interested in dinosaurs or paleontology, not to watch it. Let me explain why. Firstly, my first problem with this is that the CGI is some of the worst CGI I have ever seen. Not just in a dinosaur documentary, but in a documentary at all, any sort of documentary. This CGI is really bad. It's lacking texture, it's lacking detail. The animals themselves go from being as stiff as goose-stepping dinosaurs can be, and then in some other scenes will be as flobbery as a wet condom. They really do look exceedingly fake, like rubber toys that you'd see people playing with when they were kids. They all of the dinosaurs in the episode seem to have this strange problem that they just have their mouths open constantly. They don't ever shut them, which is, again, just shows the limited quality of the models they're using. The CGI is cheap. It looks like a PlayStation 2 era CGI or a really cheap augmented reality mobile game, and I think that's probably even being unfair to augmented reality mobile games. Now, I know that obviously not every show is going to have a super large budget. I mean, shows like Walking with Dinosaurs had very large budgets. Walking with Dinosaurs, I think, is still one of the most expensive documentary series of all time, but there's good reason for that. Walking with Dinosaurs was doing something new when it came out. No one had made a documentary in this way ever before. So that's why it was expensive, because it was new. Since Walking with Dinosaurs, there's been so many dinosaur documentaries that have used exactly the same style. And I think this just is indicative of trying to produce a product as cheaply and as quickly as you can to try to tag along to the growing dinosaur interest, which is probably waning now that the Jurassic World films are all done and dusted. Either that or most of Channel 5's budget went to Stephen Fry. Who knows? But yeah, the quality of the CGI is appalling. I mean, in some shots, the animals don't even have shadows correctly, so they just look like they're plonked onto a background with absolutely no interaction with what's going on behind it. So yeah, really bad CGI. But I understand that not every show is going to look amazing, and I probably would have forgiven the terrible CGI if the show had been correct in its science, and it's not. The show is rife with scientific and paleontological inaccuracies all the way through. I mean, they get something wrong in the first 5 minutes. Stephen Fry claims that he's travelled back in time to Pangaea. Well, that's complete bollocks. Pangaea was already breaking up. Pangaea, the supercontinent that was together on Earth during the Triassic period, had already begun to break up around 200 million years ago. So by 155 million years ago, there were 2 large continents, Laurasia and Gondwana, one in the north, one in the south. Pangaea didn't exist anymore. So for him to even say that is an inaccuracy to begin with. And it's not difficult to look up the breakup of Pangaea online. A quick search on Wikipedia or Google will give you that information. He states as well that there's no flowers and no grass. This is correct. However, in a later scene with the Diplodocus, we see it munching down on flowers. Just another example of how they have been not really going for the accuracy of the CGI. At one point, they state that Diplodocus weighs 15 tons and is about 26 meters long. And then Susie Maidment comes in, who says Diplodocus is now 30 to 40 tons. And then she states that Allosaurus is 15 tons in weight. that is, again, utter bollocks. The uppermost estimates for Allosaurus weight is around 3 tons or so, maybe 4 tons for the biggest examples. Not even Tyrannosaurus Rex got anywhere near 15 tons in weight. So where that's come from, I have no idea. I cannot find any evidence to support that at all. She's got that entirely wrong, so more inaccuracy there. Something else that annoys me is this, they go into this in-depth discussion about Allosaurus using its upper jaw as an axe in a hatchet attack animation. First of all, they claim this is new and controversial. It's not new. This has been around for best part of a decade, I think. So it's not new, and it's already relatively disproven. I've already, just in a cursory search, I can find 2 scientific articles by other paleontologists that state either it's unlikely it was used in that way because it would damage the skull or the teeth if the Allosaurus used it in that way, and another paper that states that Allosaurus was actually a strike and tear feeder because it had a very agile neck, so it would probably bite and then use the agile neck to rip and to tear skin. It wouldn't just go around using its upper jaw like an axe. What I really don't like is this horrible stunt where they build a metal jaw with metal teeth and use it on a melon as if that's anything like an actual animal. That's just a stunt. You can't build a robotic metal jaw and claim it's anything like the actual animal. So that's just, again, just pure stunt work there. Rubbish. And then you have this wonderfully funny scene where the Allosaurus apparently attacks the Diplodocus. It's the most fake looking thing I've ever seen. It looks like 2 kids just smashing dinosaurs together. During this fight, the Diplodocus stamps on the Allosaurus's chest with all of its weight on the front feet. Stamps on it. And then Stephen Fry has the audacity to claim, oh, they both survived. Does this show not have the balls to show any sort of violence or death at all? If a Diplodocus weighing around 15 tons, which is what a close size estimation is at the moment, if that stamped on the chest of an Allosaurus, that Allosaurus is dead. It would be crushed, pulverized under that sort of weight. It's not going to get up again. The fact that this show doesn't even have the balls to show another dinosaur dying at the hands of the Diplodocus it's deceptive. I'm gonna say it's deceptive. Diplodocus rearing up on its hind legs, which is another claim the show makes. It's not exactly proven. As far as all the research that I've seen, they say that the Diplodocus and Diplodocoid family, they're most adapted to rearing up on their hind legs, but pretty much every paleontologist suggests that it's not something they would do often, and it's not something they would do as a matter of course. I certainly think the episode is presenting the rearing up as very flexible dinosaur. The Diplodocus, it rears up in a very flexible way, and I just don't think that's entirely accurate. I also love the fact that they claim again the Diplodocus doesn't want to eat the ferns, it would prefer to attack the conifer leaves. Actually, the Diplodocus teeth, every herbivore dinosaur actually has a particular shape of teeth that determines what they're going to attack, and Diplodocus teeth are actually more suited to stripping ferns of their leaves than attacking woody conifer branches. Given the choice of ferns or conifer, Dippy would probably go for ferns. So again, that's just an example that they've simplified the science down. And I also like the fact they completely negate mentioning gastroliths, which have been found in sauropod stomachs to help grind up their food. They don't mention those whatsoever. So again, they simplify the science down, and it's misleading. And then there's some really silly mistakes, like they show this Nassasaurus and they state, oh, it's about 2 meters long, but the actual image they shows it at 3 meters long. That's really stupid mistake. And then the show acts like herding dinosaurs is a new thing, like it's a revolutionary idea. It's really not. Dinosaurs herding, we've known about this for decades. It's nothing new. So the way they go on about it's just common sense, really. I could accept poor CGI, cheap CGI, if the science was correct. correct. They don't get it correct. They make grandiose claims and act like it's true, and they make mistakes. It's deceptive, and I don't think it's presenting the actual science that's there. And it's not even difficult to go and research that science, to find those scientific papers. Like I do for my Beyond the Park videos, I actually go and try to find the scientific papers and go based on what the scientific papers say. I also try to present both sides, so I don't just say this is definitely for sure what would have happened or what they would have done. This is what one paleontologist thinks, this is what other paleontologists think. But instead of doing that in the show, they have one person there who claims this is definitely true, doesn't present any other argument. So to the audience, it's like, oh, well, this must be fact, but it isn't. And that's very deceptive and kind of concerning, I think. So those are my two big problems: the really poor CGI and the really bad science that the show is using. And it's unfortunate, really, because we do need more dinosaur media and dinosaur documentaries, but not like this. And in fact, if you want a show which puts human beings next to dinosaurs, then I would actually advise you watch ITV's Prehistoric Park, which had Nigel Marven going back in time to rescue various prehistoric animals from extinction and then bring them back to the modern day, and then actually think about how you would look after these animals and the difficulties in looking after these animals. It's not a show that had an enormous budget in terms of its CGI, and I still think it holds up reasonably well to this day. Obviously, Nigel Marven is a great narrator to have along there, and I honestly think it's a better show. This thing being created by Channel 5, whether it's just this first episode or not, who knows. Maybe the episodes coming after will be better. However, from what I've seen of this first episode, I seriously doubt it. And if they can't even be bothered to get the very, very simple elements of the science correct, like the correct estimated weight of a dinosaur, the correct geological landmass, the correct diet, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the series. Go watch Walking with Dinosaurs, go watch Prehistoric Planet, go watch Prehistoric Park. They're all more accurate, more representative of the science, and just better shows in general. That is my opinion. I think Ian Malcolm can best sum it up here.
That is one big pile of shit.
If you've seen this episode, let me know down in the comments what you made of it, what you think about it. And obviously, if you haven't already liked this video, please consider doing so, and keep a lookout for more content by all of us at Triclaw Gaming. But for now, I want to say thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, and goodbye.